rules for 1,260 years, but then at the end of the 1,260 years, it receives a what? A deadly wound. The sword that it used to persecute now turns against it. In other words, the sword is taken out of its hand, and the sword rises against it and gives it a deadly wound. And for a while, this beast is inactive. This sea beast is inactive because it has a deadly wound. But the Bible says that its deadly wound is going to be what? Healed. Now, I want you to notice something very interesting about this beast. When this first beast falls, when the sea beast receives its deadly wound, at that moment is when this land beast rises. So we have a chronological detail to know exactly when this beast is going to arise in the flow of history. Let's notice several characteristics. Characteristic number one of this land beast that is going to give the sword back to the sea beast, and it's going to impose the mark of the sea beast, it's going to impose the number of the sea beast, it's going to make an image of the sea beast, it's going to tell everyone to worship the sea beast. In other words, everything it does is with reference to the sea beast. It's almost like it doesn't have its own identity. It arose for one purpose, and that was to return the identity or the ability to persecute to that first beast. Now, notice Revelation chapter 13, verses 10 and 11. Revelation 13, verses 10 and 11. Verse 10 speaks about the deadly wound. It says, "He who leads into captivity shall go into captivity. He who kills with the sword must be killed with the sword." See, that's the deadly wound. "Here is the patience and the faith of the saints." And notice immediately after it speaks about the deadly wound, we find in verse 11, "Then." So when the first beast falls, it says, "Then I saw another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had two horns like a lamb and spoke like a dragon." So when does this second beast rise? It rises to power when the first beast receives its deadly wound. Because it says, "He who kills with the sword will be killed with the sword." Then he says, "Then I saw another beast rise from the earth." Which means that this beast would have to rise around what year? It will have to be around the year 1798 when the first beast received its deadly wound. A second characteristic which helps us identify this beast from the earth is that in Revelation 13, beginning with verse 11, there is no reference to waters. There is no reference to winds of strife. In fact, this beast that rises from the earth doesn't even fight with any other beasts. In other words, it does not arise in the midst of strife. Winds of strife represent wars. It doesn't have to conquer any previous nation. It actually arises in a different place. It can't be in Asia and it can't be in Europe. You say, why not?